we were talking today on the podcast about like our ideal Pokemon game, like Generation 10 game.
Okay.
And I'm trying to remember what I even said. I think I was just kind of describing like how like there are features from every game, but like it's not idealistic to like it's just not it's like not feasible to imagine them all being collected. Like the PSS in X and Y was great, but like the PSS in a Gen 10 game won't make it great.
Right.
But yeah, how would you answer that? What would your ideal Gen 10 game be? Like what actual features would need to be there? Maybe not features, but like what would actually make it important for you?
It's tough because I think the answer for me is just not the answer for most people.
Yeah.
And I would just be ruining it. So, because like the truth
You're ruining the game.
Because like the truth is, listen, I'm a very lucky boy. Oh wow, this guy's got a different. He's a big boy.
Yeah, this guy's cool.
But like, I see the action elements that are coming to ZA, and that's what I want. I should count I should count myself lucky that exists at all. But like, if you're asking me, it's like, Jake, you're in charge. What do you get? Like, okay, that is something that I want. That is like I understand that would be the wrong choice for the Pokemon brand.
Sure.
That would be the wrong choice. If I was in charge, if I had the job, I would never say that. I would shut my damn mouth. I would shut my damn mouth. I would never put my neck on the line like that. Wow,
Yeah.
Muck took a flamethrower. I can't believe it.
Big boy.
Yeah, should have used the blast burn.
Good.
But yeah, so that's the first thing. So already I think I can't go in saying I just want the action combat, because already it's like Jake, you're just talking about a different game. Which So the question is like, what is the ideal like actual Pokemon game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want more context, like I think I was kind of framing it like, you know, we were discussing how every game is a little bit different, which is what we've been seeing.
Yeah.
And I've been warming up to the idea all year long of a generation game, like a Gen 10 game that that leans into that living experience. Added like consistent DLC locations or like packs that like unlock more Pokemon to explore and capture. Not new ones. They could even be returning ones, right?
Right.
You know, I don't know. Just I imagine that maybe the generation could last 4 to 5 years, and that's fine if it's a good experience.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it's tough. I think there's like a lot of different versions of a Gen 10 game that I can imagine, and I think like so like what is so I want to address something that you said.
Yeah.
The idea of the living game and it constantly getting like expansions. What is good about that?
Let me think.
Yeah, and I'm not asking that to be antagonistic. I'm just
No.
I'm trying to melt down. Yeah.
No. That's good.
Yeah.
I feel like I mean just collect the thought.
Yeah,
'Cause,
collect the thought.
Sometimes on the podcast we just assume things because we know we're in agreement with things.
Sure.
So I don't even think I've thought about that. What would be good about that? I think. So part of it, and listen, maybe I'm even wrong on this, but part of it I think maybe stems from like the limitations that Game Freak already has in their, or the Pokemon Company in their like yearly release schedule. So if it is easier, I'd be fine with like a DLC on the core game. I think part of me is a little bit tired of like maybe I'm not even tired because I don't want to be like rude, or not rude, but like I don't want to be like dramatic. But like I think playing Scarlet and Violet, it just felt like that as a final product, which we're going to be enjoying now or playing for like 4 years, right? It's just I don't know. It's just like it's there. I don't know. I'm afraid to say it's not fun because I do find enjoyment out of it, but it doesn't feel polished. I'm not proud of it, and I like the idea of a game that is put out and is artful and is intentional, and I feel like it can stand alone, maybe even look different. Like I think Legends ZA has this like really nice like art direction to it. And I don't know, I think something that I enjoy about Pokemon games is just like living in the space and being comfortable with whatever it is, the team, right?
Yeah.
The character that I've created for myself. And I enjoyed going to Kitakami, and that being like a kind of like little treat.
Yeah.
Right. Without the weight of a brand new game experience. Right. I liked that as like a little bit like guess what? In your RPG, you get to now go to a new location. We don't even know where it is. We won't even tell you. Right. So like, rephrase the question. I'm collecting my thoughts.
Yeah. I think, like, okay, there's a Pokemon game. What I wanted to have is I wanted to constantly get new areas with new Pokemon. Why?
Yeah. I guess it almost, if I'm thinking about myself, I think it's almost like I'm like bargaining with Game Freak. Right? I think I'm bargaining. I think I don't even have faith that a brand new world and Pokedex and story is achievable maybe every 2.5, 3 years. It feels rushed, at least from what I've seen, maybe. I feel like as much as fun as I've had with Sword and Shield, it doesn't have that open world experience, right? As cool as it is that there's this big open sandbox of Scarlet and Violet, I don't think it looks any good. I don't think it plays very good, right? So when I imagine the Gen 10 game, it's maybe an amalgamation of both of those things.
So
why would to answer the question, why would I want DLCs? It's a bargain. It's like, hey, if you don't have time to produce a new location, then give me a DLC pack that gives me a glimpse at a Johto game. Give me a glimpse at a new location that's in another part. It's like neighboring Unova, but it's not in Unova.
So
right?
I think what I'm trying to get to here is that I think like there's something funny happening where I think by saying that's what you want, I think there's a lot of assumptions into what the game already is. Because, for example, if you have Scarlet and Violet and you pump out 3 more DLCs just like Kitakami, where it's an open world, the fairly generic biomes where there's exploration, but only insofar as you go out onto and you see what Pokemon are in the land. Is that what you want?
I think if the game was pretty and didn't break and didn't slow down when I entered sand terrain or whatever. I honestly think that would be like a lot of fun.
so let me clarify. So so I think what you're saying is the reason why you want those things is because you want a Pokemon game with a lot of continuous content.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Okay. So, yes. So
I didn't mean to dance around that. I was trying to come to it.
I was just because I think like when you say you want it's funny. It's like you don't say what is in any of those regions or what you do in them. It's just you just want a lot of content.
It's not. I think I'm leaving it open-ended because I don't need to. I think that's a good point. Because like I think I'm gonna be happy with most anything Game Freak gives me. So like if they're giving us a new glimpse into new worlds, right? Locations, characters that I haven't seen before, I think it's cool.
Okay, so let me
I welcome it. New Pokemon, I welcome it.
So now let me throw a counter argument your way.
Yeah.
I think something that frustrates me about DLC with Pokemon games is that the Pokemon game comes out, I play it all the way through to the end. I love it. I go from the first gym to the last gym, I beat the game. You know what I do after I beat the game? I get all my Pokemon to level 100. I train them, I make them really strong. And then the new DLC comes out, and I have my team. And the game is pretty much like, Jake, if you don't want to just fly through this, pressing A over and over and over again, you pretty much can't use your team. The thing that you enjoyed playing the game, the whole reason you're attached to this game, put that aside. Oh, let's go!
Nice. This is big.
Oh man, that's nice.
Muse.
So I actually think
I hear you. I hear you. The DLC is often detached from the actual story.
Yeah, not even the story, but I think that there's a almost
or the gameplay experience.
There's like an inherent there's an inherent issue with the Pokemon game that keeps going and going and going because right now I can tell you I'm doing all of these battles at the Blueberry Academy where I call in the teachers and I call in the gym leaders and they all have their end game teams and none of them can kill a single one of my Pokemon. I am just pressing A. And like, there is a degree to which it is still fun and I still get joy out of it, but the content does not hit like the content hits going through the game with purpose, with intention.
Sure.
And so, so I
But I also don't care about battling. That's like not really something I like. Of course it's integral.
Yeah.
It's how you're using the Pokemon.
Yeah.
But I guess that's something I just don't consider often.
I guess it's tough for me because then what I'm hearing is like, you don't care about battling, you want there to be more content, and it's okay if the content is as generically designed as it was in Scarlet and Violet.
No. I don't want it to be as generic. I think I like the idea of just like if we had DLC for Fire Red and Leaf Green. Like I think it is cool. It maybe this is a bad example because it happened like 20 years ago and I was a child, right? Maybe the Sevii Islands suck. I'm going to be playing through them this afternoon.
I think this is fine enough. Yeah.
It's fine. But like, I think what I always used to do, and we're getting glimpses of it, is like I take my file or my favorites from Fire Red, do everything I can do, and then I'd put them in Hoenn, and I'd go to the Elite Four there, and I'd get a nice ribbon, right? And there's like I'm just pretending like now I'm in Hoenn with these Pokemon. Right?
Yeah.
I do think there's some bargaining going on because if they just give us a game that is, I'm sure I'm going to enjoy whatever Gen 10 is.
Yeah, of course.
I'm sure of it. But I also don't, I'm like, if the game is great, I also don't need a new game 3 years later, like a brand new generation game. I actually, at this point, would prefer we get some of these Pokemon Works remakes, right? Just kind of revise an old region in a faithful way. Legends ZA is awesome. I think that's so exciting. So I think maybe all I care about is like revisiting these locations.
Yeah, totally. And
right? I want Game Freak to like reimagine some of these places.
And I think the reason why I'm being so inquisitive about this is that I think when you guys on the Hidden Power podcast ask what you want out of Gen 10, and when you ask me what I want out of Gen 10, it's almost like two completely different questions. Because you pretty much just said like you don't care about the battles, which is like the core of the gameplay. And I can't help myself. When you ask me the question, I start designing a video game in my head.
Sure,
I don't think
I'm designing a world.
And you're looking for stuff you want to add to the world of Pokemon.
Yes.
And I think I'm looking at what do I want this game to be, so at the end of the year I go Game of the Year, Pokemon. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Valid.
So, which is interesting, and I think I
think that's fair.
I think all the time about that question of how you make the continuous post-game content interesting and meaningful. Because, dude, right now, I can tell you, the Terra Raid battles are not it. They are not it. Good. And I'm like, it's like driving me crazy, dude. I'm like, I wish that this game, which is really interested in having you play over and over and over again. They do the Terra Raid battles. They do the what do they call when like a bunch of Pokemon show up? The
outbreaks.
Outbreaks. Yep. They're like, oh, this week we've got an outbreak of this Pokemon. They want you to come back to this game, but I feel like the game on like a fundamental level like stops working after you put in a certain amount of hours to it, and it just becomes like a success simulator. So I like. Yeah, there's something about it where I'm like, man, how is there not a thing in this game that because one of my big problems with the Terra Raid battles is that it is challenging you in a way that is like completely divorced from the game that you're playing the whole time. It's like the whole time you're playing this whole like 6-man squad Pokemon battles against other trainers, and then they go, actually now the battles are this, and it's like, well, we weren't doing that. That's a completely different game. Where do I go to do the continuous content that builds on the thing I was doing the whole game?
Sure, the thing that you've
and
set me up to do.
Yeah, and it's really weird because it's like they just don't really have an answer for that. So I don't know. And I listen, I would love a game where you go through like another region, you know, like that's what people always want ever since Gold and Silver, that second region game. But I also think that people don't like going through that second region as much as they think they do. I think they like the idea of it, but in practice, I don't think anybody loves just like wiping through those. I don't know. I don't think it's as compelling as people think it is. And I know when I played Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I hit that part of the game and I was like, this is just
it's a victory lap. That's all it is.
It's just content. It's just content, which is fine. But it wasn't. It lost something. So you know what's funny? So I'm so sorry to do this. I'm like rambling, but you know what really hit me first? The first second you asked, like, what's your dream Gen 10 game?
Yeah.
I was like,
you're like, it's not a Pokemon game.
No, in my heart, honest to God, first thing was I want my main character to be going through something.
Whoa.
I want him to be going through something.
You want the main character to not be a blank slate.
Well, I want him to be at a point in his life that is a transition. That's my pitch.
You basically, instead of being that blank slate, you are like Arvin, and you just found out your parents like are gone or something.
I want them to say, Jake, you're graduating from high school. You did not get a Pokemon when you turned 10, and you always regretted it.
Whoa.
And now you're going on that Pokemon adventure.
See, that's good. Yeah. That's good.
That's crazy. That premise alone can infiltrate the whole game.
And maybe that's what Pokemon needs to do going forward, like actually have serious premises.
And that's not even dramatic. It's not like edgy. It's just
no. But it's a starting point.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like everything that happened, and you've actually been talking about this recently, like how everything happens around you, but it doesn't happen to you. Right?
Yeah. It's like,
and you know what I said earlier? I don't care about the battles. I think, of course, the battles are fun. I'm excited for the battles in ZA. Battling is a lot of fun. That's like half of what you do it's most of what you do in most Pokemon games. But the battling is always just I don't know. It's like it's just like a means to an end. It's like, I need the badge. This is my trial, right? There's meaning behind it.
Yeah, I think I just wish that I had like more of a position in the world. And it's just funny.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there's just like this weird thing where the games are so focused on discover the world, go see it. Your position in the world is that everything is new to you. But like, what if the character that you are in a Pokemon game actually existed for 10 minutes before you started the game?
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing I think about all the time. I'm like, what if
Jake, you're so good at this. Yeah, that's yeah, I can,
because that's the thing that the character in every single one of these games is birthed into the world the second the game starts, and nothing matters before. Nothing about you matters before that game started. There's no, in theater, it's like a thing. It's the moment before. So I don't know. I like, that was the high school thing was like the first thing I came up with. But like, it'd be kind of funny, especially in the context of a Pokemon game, to be like functionally a teenager, but like maybe thought of as an adult, and you're going on your Pokemon adventure, and you know what happens when you leave? You're fighting all these 10-year-olds that just got their first Pokemon. Like, that's crazy.
And then you rank up. I'm imagining like you get phone calls and they're not just like annoying trainers asking for a rematch.
Ooh.
They are challengers. They said, "Oh, you have a position, like you are a gym leader, and every time you get a phone call, you have to do the match, and if you lose, then they got to determine some sort of like consequence for that."
See, I was even thinking you get a call, and it's your friend that he graduated high school with you, and he's not on a Pokemon adventure. He just joined the workforce.
Oh.
And he's
Okay.
he's calling to check in on you. You're still doing that? You're still you got another gym badge?
Damn,
Dude,
what was that? What was that like the 2D pixel art game that you played where like you're like waking up out of bed? It was at like it was like up for an indie award or something. Like you wake up out of bed and it's like you're just hearing the person's dialogue.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the
like,
name though.
but that's a Pokemon game.
Maybe until then.
It's like,
but yeah, but no, I just like the idea of this, like, you have a position in the world and it's something that people are constantly referencing to you and like bringing up. So like, you know, you get your second badge and somebody in the game, you have a call with your high school buddy and he goes, "Dude, my baby cousin is 10 years old and he has 4 badges."
wow.
You're proud of your second badge. And then you have some stuff in the game. It's like making you want to rush forward because you want to get past all of these children.
Yeah.
But that's not how you get strong. You don't get strong by rushing forward.
Yeah.
Oh, I found Listel.
Here we go.
It kept scaring.
Scary Pokemon.
Wow, okay. What do you think it's going to be?
I know what it is.
Oh, here it comes. Let's see. I want
It's a
my
creep.
daddy. No way. It's Drowsy?
Close.
Hypno. Damn. It's just a Hypno?
Yeah.
This is so
It's
weird.
not even a high. You can actually find a Hypno on this route that's like level 38.
I fought like a high level Drowsy. All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's done. I've killed it.
Yeah.
And now it's a Gengar, I guess.